pronouncing of Haridasa Thakur. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So we'll start by chanting the first verse of this chapter together. You want me to read the summary first? Okay. The summary of this chapter is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya as follows. In this chapter it is described how Brahma Haridasa Thakur gave up his body with the consent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how the Lord himself personally performed the funeral ceremony and carried the body to the sea. He personally entombed the body, covered it with sand, and erected a platform on the site. After taking a bath in the sea, he personally begged prasadam of Jagannath from shopkeepers and distributed prasadam to the assembled devotees. So text 1. Please repeat. Namami Haridasam Tam Chaitanyam Chatatat Prabhum Samstitam Api Yam Murtim Swanke Kritva Nanarta Yaha Namami Haridasam Tam Chaitanyam Tam Chatat Prabhum Samstitam Api Yanmurtim Svanke Kritva Nanarta Yaha Namami Haridasam Tam Chaitanyam Tam Chatat Prabhum Samstitam Api Yanmurtim Svanke Kritva Nanarta Yaha. So to save time, I'll go directly to the synonyms. Namami. I offer my respectful obeisances. Haridasam, unto Haridasa Thakur. Tam, him. Chaitanyam, unto Lord Chaitanya. Tam, him. Cha, also. Tat Prabhu, his master. Samstitam, dead. Api, certainly. Yat, whose. Murtim, bodily form. Swaanke, on his lap. Kritva, keeping. Nanarta, danced. Yaha, he who. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Haridasa Thakur. and his master, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who danced with the body of Haridasa Thakur on his lap. Please repeat. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Haridasa Thakur and his master, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who danced with the body of Haridasa Thakur on his lap. So I'm going to start reading from text 16. And before doing that, I'm just going to say a few words about the importance of Haridasa Thakur and his life. He was a very great devotee and associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was, according to Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas, an incarnation of Lord Brahma. And he was known as the Namacharya, the Acharya of the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna. And he's very important for us in our position because he was born in a Muslim family. And nevertheless, Lord Chaitanya accepted him as a member of his movement and even gave him the position of Acharya or spiritual master. So many of us were not born in Vaishnava families. We weren't born in India of any kind of Hindu type of religious background. We're born in the West, members of Judeo-Christian faith, some of us. But nevertheless, we were accepted by Srila Prabhupada in his movement and given the position of preachers in his movement, and some even given the position of a spiritual master in Lord Chaitanya's movement. So this is, Srila Prabhupada often mentioned, this is done on the strength of the example of Haridasa Thakur. And also relevant for us is how Haridasa Thakur passed various tests of an internal and external nature. He was tempted by Maya Devi herself. She came to him in a cave where he was performing his bhajan of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And another time, the Qazi, the Muslim ruler, tried to entrap him by sending a prostitute to tempt him in his bhajan. But he resisted all of these temptations and indeed engaged those who came to try to tempt him in the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, so that the prostitute who came to tempt him became a Vaishnavi, and Maya Devi herself bowed down before him. So, also externally, he confronted obstacles in his preaching mission as part of Lord Chaitanya's movement because of his dedication to the Sankirtan movement. He was punished by the Muslim ruler. He was beaten in 22 different marketplaces throughout the Navadvip, Mayapur region, but he persisted in his chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and the preaching of Lord Chaitanya's movement. So again, his example is very relevant for us and our position. So I'm going to read the English only of these verses. So text 16. One day, Govinda, the personal servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, went in great jubilation to deliver the remnants of Lord Jagannath's food to Haridasa Thakur. When Govinda came to Haridasa, he saw that Haridasa Thakur was lying on his back and chanting his rounds very slowly. Please rise and take your Mahaprasadam, Govinda said. Haridasa Thakur replied, today I shall observe fasting. I have not finished chanting my regular number of rounds. How then can I eat? But you have brought Mahaprasadam, and how can I neglect it? Saying this, he offered prayers to the Mahaprasadam, took a little portion, and ate it. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Mahaprasadam is not different from Krishna. Therefore, instead of eating Mahaprasadam, one should honor it. It is said here, Karila Vandana. He offered prayers. When taking Mahaprasadam, one should not consider the food ordinary preparations. Prasad means favor. One should consider Mahaprasad a favor of Krishna, as stated by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Krishna Bodhadoya Moy, Karibara Jiva Joy, Swaprasad Anadilo Bhai. Krishna is very kind. In this material world, we are all very much attached to tasting various types of food. Therefore, Krishna eats many nice varieties of food and offers the food back to the devotees, so that not only are one's demands for various tastes satisfied, but by eating prasadam, one makes advancement in spiritual life. Therefore, we should never consider ordinary food on an equal level with Mahaprasadam. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Haridasa's place and inquired from him, Haridas, are you well? Haridas offered his obeisances to the Lord and replied, my body is all right, but my mind and intelligence are not well. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further inquired from Haridas, can you ascertain what your disease is? Haridas Thakur replied, my disease is that I cannot complete my rounds. Purport. So he's saying, I don't have a physical disease, but my mind is diseased because I'm not finishing my rounds. So purport, if one cannot complete the fixed number of rounds he is assigned, he should be considered to be in a diseased condition of spiritual life. Srila Haridasa Thakur is called Namacharya. Of course, we cannot imitate Haridasa Thakur, who would chant how many rounds? 196, 157, I hear. Whatever it was a lot of rounds. 300,000 names, I believe. So, of course, we cannot imitate Haridasa Thakur, but everyone must chant a prescribed number of rounds. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we have fixed 16 rounds as the minimum, so that the Westerners will not feel will not feel burdened. These 16 rounds must be chanted and chanted loudly so that one can hear himself and others. So continuing Lord Chaitanya's words, now you have become old, the Lord said. You may reduce the number of rounds you chant daily. You are already liberated, and therefore you need not follow the regular principles very strictly. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Unless one has come to the platform of spontaneous love of God, he must follow the regulative principles. Thakur Haridasa was the living example of how to follow the regulative principles. Similarly, Raghunath Das Goswami was also such a living example. In the Sad Goswami Ashtaka, it is stated, Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Nati Bi Kala Vasani Kritau. The Goswamis, especially Raghunath Das Goswami, strictly followed all the regulative principles. The first regulative principle is that one must chant the Hare Krishna mantra loudly enough so that he can hear himself, and one must vow to chant a fixed number of rounds. Not only was Raghunath Das Goswami chanting a fixed number of rounds, but he had also taken a vow to bow down many times and offer obeisances to the Lord. Your role in this incarnation is to deliver the people in general. You have sufficiently preached the glories of the holy name in this world. Purport. Haridasa Thakura is known as the Namacharya because it is he who preached the glories of Harinam, the holy name of God. By using the words Tomara Avatar, your incarnation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms that Haridasa Thakur is the incarnation of Lord Brahma. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that advanced devotees help the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his mission, and that such devotees or personal associates incarnate by the will of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord incarnates by his own will, and by his will, competent devotees also incarnate to help him in his mission. Haridasa Thakur is thus an incarnation of Lord Brahma, and other devotees are likewise incarnations who help in the prosecution of the Lord's mission. The Lord concluded, now, therefore, please reduce the fixed number of times you chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Haridasa Thakur replied, kindly hear my real plea. I was born in an inferior family, and my body is most abominable. I always engage in low work. Therefore, I am the lowest, most condemned of men. I am unseeable and untouchable, but you have accepted me as your servant. This means you have delivered me from a hellish condition and raised me to the Vaikuntha platform. My Lord, you are the fully independent personality of Godhead. You act by your own free will. You cause the whole world to dance and act like you. My Lord, by your mercy you have made me dance in many ways. For example, I was offered the Shraddha Patra, which should have been offered to the first-class brahmanas. I ate it, even though I was born in a family of meat eaters. I'm not going to read all the purports so we can get through this chapter. I have had one desire for a very long time. I think that quite soon, my Lord, you will bring to a close your pastimes within this material world. I wish that you not show me this closing chapter of your pastimes, Before that time comes, kindly let my body fall down in your presence. I wish to catch your lotus feet upon my heart and see your moon-like face. With my tongue I shall chant your holy name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. That is my desire. Kindly let me give up my body in this way. O most merciful Lord, if by your mercy it is possible, kindly grant my desire. Let this low-born body fall down before you. You can make possible this perfection of all my desires. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, My dear Haridas, Krishna is so merciful that he must execute whatever you want. But whatever happiness is mine is all due to your association. It is not fitting for you to go away and leave me behind. Catching the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridasa Thakur said, My Lord, do not create an illusion. Although I am so fallen, you must certainly show me this mercy. My Lord, there are many respectable personalities, millions of devotees who are fit to sit on my head. They are all helpful in your pastimes. My Lord, if an insignificant insect like me dies, what is the loss? If an ant dies, what is the loss to the material world? My Lord, you are always affectionate to your devotees. I am just an imitation devotee, but nevertheless, I wish that you fulfill my desire. That is my expectation. Because he had to perform his noon duties, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up to leave, but it was settled that the following day, after he saw Lord Jagannath, he would return to visit Haridasa Thakur. After embracing him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left to perform his noon duties and went to the sea to take his bath. The next morning, after visiting the Jagannath temple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accompanied by all his devotees, went hastily to see Haridasa Thakur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the devotees came before Haridasa Thakur, who offered his respects to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Vaishnavas. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired, My dear Haridas, what is the news? Haridasa Thakur replied, My Lord, whatever mercy you can bestow upon me. Upon hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately began great congregational chanting in the courtyard. Vakreshwar Pandit was the chief dancer. Headed by Sarup Damodar Goswami, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu surrounded Haridasa Thakur and began congregational chanting. In front of all the great devotees like Ramananda Roy and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to describe the holy attributes of Haridasa Thakur. As he described the transcendental attributes of Haridasa Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seemed to possess 5 mouths. The more he described, the more his great happiness increased. After hearing of the transcendental qualities of Haridasa Thakur, all the devotees present were struck with wonder. They all offered their respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of Haridasa Thakur. Haridasa Thakur made Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sit down in front of him, and then he fixed his eyes like 2 bumblebees on the lotus face of the Lord. He held the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his heart, and then took the dust of the feet of all the devotees present and put it on his head. He began to chant the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya again and again. As he drank the sweetness of the face of the Lord, tears constantly glided down from his eyes. While chanting the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he gave up his air of life and left his body. Seeing the wonderful death of Haridasa Thakur by his own will, which was just like a great mystic yogi's, everyone remembered the passing away of Bhishma. There was a tumultuous noise as they all chanted the holy names, Hari and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. The Lord raised the body of Haridasa Thakur and placed it on his lap. Then he began to dance in the courtyard with ecstatic love. Because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love, all the devotees were helpless, and in ecstatic love they also began to dance and chant congregationally. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced for some time, and then Swarup Damodar informed him of other rituals for the body of Haridasa Thakur. The body of Haridasa Thakur was then raised onto a carrier that resembled an airship and taken to the sea, accompanied by congregational chanting. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced in front of the procession, and Vakreshwar Pandit, along with other devotees, chanted and danced behind him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed the body of Haridasa Thakur in the sea and then declared, "From this day on, this sea has become a great pilgrimage site." Everyone drank the water that had touched the lotus feet of Haridasa Thakur, and then they smeared remnants of Lord Jagannath's sandalwood pulp over Haridasa Thakur's body. After a hole was dug in the sand, the body of Haridasa Thakur was placed into it. Remnants from Lord Jagannath, such as his silken ropes, sandalwood pulp, food, and cloth, were placed on the body. All around the body, the devotees performed congregational chanting, and Vakreshwar Pandit danced in jubilation. With his transcendental hands, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally covered the body of Haridasa Thakur with sand and chanted, Hari Hari Bol. The devotees covered the body of Haridasa Thakur with sand and then constructed a platform upon the site. The platform was protected all around by fencing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and chanted all around the platform, and as the holy name of Hari roared tumultuously, the whole universe became filled with a vibration. After Sankirtan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in the sea with his devotees, swimming and playing in the water in great jubilation. After circumambulating the tomb of Haridasa Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Singadwar gate of the Jagannath temple. The whole city chanted in congregation, and the tumultuous sound vibrated all over the city. So this is the account given by Krishnadas Kaviraj in the Chaitanya Charitamrita about the passing of Haridasa Thakur in the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the final part of the chapter describes how Lord Chaitanya organized a great prasadam feast in honor of the passing of Haridasa Thakur. So I'm not going to read all of that, but I'm going to go to the end of the chapter. I'm going through it right now. When I get to it, I'll say what it is. Okay, we can go to text 91 through 93. Yeah. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this benediction. Anyone who has seen the festival of Sri Haridasa Thakur's passing away, anyone who has chanted and danced here, and anyone who has offered sand on the body of Haridasa Thakur, and anyone who has joined this festival to partake of the prasadam will achieve the favor of Krishna very soon. There is such wonderful power in seeing Haridasa Thakur. Being merciful upon me, Krishna gave me the association of Haridasa Thakur. Being independent in his desires, he has now broken this association. When Haridasa Thakur wanted to leave this material world, it was not within my power to detain him. Simply by his will, Haridasa Thakur could give up his life and go away, exactly like Bhishma, who previously died simply by his own desire, as we have heard from Shastra. Haridasa Thakur was the crown jewel on the head of this world. Without him, the world is now bereft of a valuable jewel. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then told everyone, say, all glories to Haridasa Thakur. All glories to Haridasa Thakur, and chant the holy name of Hari. Hari. Saying this, he personally began to dance. Everyone began to chant, all glories to Haridasa Thakur, who revealed the importance of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Thereafter, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bade farewell to all the devotees, and he himself, with mixed feelings of happiness and distress, took rest. Thus I have spoken about the victorious passing away of Haridasa Thakur. Anyone who hears this narration will certainly fix his mind firmly in devotional service to Krishna. And I'll finish by reading this purport. As at Purushottam Kshetra or Jagannath Puri, there is a temple of Tota Gopinath. If one goes from there to the sea, he can discover the tomb of Haridasa Thakur still existing. Every year, on the date of Ananta Chaturdashi, there is a festival to commemorate the passing away of Haridasa Thakur. At the same place, deities of Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Advaita Prabhu were established about 100 years ago. A gentleman named Brahmaravara from Kendrapada in the province of Orissa contributed funds to establish these deities in the temple. The management of the temple was under the Tota Gopinath Goswamis. This temple was later sold to someone else, and this party is now maintaining the Seva Puja of this temple. Near this temple and the tomb of Haridasa Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur constructed a small house called the Bhakti Kuti. In the Bengali year 1329, AD 1922, the Purushottama Mat, a branch of the Gaudiya Mat, was established there. In Bhakti Ratnakara, it is said, Srinivas Thakur quickly ran to the seashore. When he saw the tomb of Haridasa Thakur, he immediately fell down, offering prayers, and almost fainted. The devotees present there pacified him with very sweet and affectionate words, and Srinivas again offered his obeisances to the tomb. Hearing of the separation that Srinivas expressed in his lamentation at the tomb of Haridasa Thakur makes one's heart melt. So those places are still there. I've been to them. Many of you have probably been to them. So it's really wonderful if you have a chance to visit this sacred place. Srila Haridasa Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.